The new one is firm, it's stiff. New one goes on over that ring. And you're gonna slide it in the groove like that. Hold that down and spin it. Boom. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I actually shot this video in May of 2020. Now it's September 3rd of 2020. And I'm just now getting around to uploading this to YouTube. Edited the video and I realized I forgot to do an intro on what the video is about. You quickly saw me repair this with my hands. This is just basic washing machine repair. If you have one of these small portable machines in your house, or even a larger one, they all use the same kind of engineering. They use belts to spin the cavity inside where the clothes is being washed. And over time, we average 5 years these belts need to be replaced. It's something most of us don't know. So when it happened, our first instinct was to replace the machine, only to find out in mid-2020 these things were sold out everywhere. And because of COVID-19, manufacturing of these things were either affected drastically, so prices were very high, and the stock at most places nearby us, even online on Amazon, you can get one of these for like 3 months. So what I ended up doing was just taking it upon myself to find out what's wrong and then fixing it. The chances are, if you have any of these machines, is the belts that need to be replaced, and that takes a couple of minutes to do. It took me about 10 minutes to do. The belt itself is really cheap. I got one for I think $13, but you can get one for as cheap as $9 depending on what model machine you have. What'll happen if you notice that water kind of builds up in a cavity, it doesn't spin out, and your clothes come out like soaking wet at the end of the wash cycle. Also, you can only wash one or two items of clothes, like literally one shirt, to get a proper wash, and the spin is really weak. Chances are it's the belts that need to be replaced. There's other modules down inside the machine that you could look at, especially if your machine isn't pumping water out. You can look at there's a pump module that I'll show you in this video that you could easily replace as well. So all in all, this DIY is very simple. Don't spend money to get in a machine. It's September and we've been using this very machine after I repaired it in May, as you'll see in this video, the whole entire summer, and it's been working fine. It's like brand new. So there's no need to spend lots of money calling a plumber or buying a new machine. You can fix it yourself in minutes. Hey guys, so now it's time to get inside on the bottom and see what's going on in there. I already ordered a new belt. I'm assuming that's what I need to replace. So I took most of the screws out, so I'm going to just show you guys this. 1, 2, 3, 4 screws, and this machine, your machine might be different, because I realize there's also holes in the bottom for different screws down here. But our machine only had the 4 screws, 2 on the top and 2 on the side. So I'm going to just use my drill to remove the screws. The screws in a safe place. This is nice that it's labeled front, so you know how to put this back on. This only goes in one way. This to the side like that. Inside our machine, what you'll find, I already opened this up and we found one of my daughter's sock. My daughter's 5 years old and she's had this sock. This is when she was like 2 years old. So this has been in there bouncing around. I'm not sure if this is what made the belt, contacted the belt, but you might find articles of clothing inside there. I'm not even sure how this got in there on the bottom to begin with, but we did find this in there. Put that to the side. So that could be the cause of the belt failing, or one of the mechanical parts in here failing, like clothing items. I'm not sure how that even got in here, but you could get in there and contact that belt. Now the belt we want to change is this. I could see already it's very, very floppy. It's very loose on that pulley. I could see that the belt is also shredded away on the sides, the edges there, and there's black residue all around there. So this belt, because it, worn out over time, it was just wobbling laterally up and down on that pulley wheel, and it was just contacting the edges there and shredding. So you'll see like a lot of fine, like black like soot around there. So we want to get rid of this guardrail first. I already took the screws out, so I'm just gonna remove one of the screws. I could not get my power drill in there, so, and these are basic Phillips screwdrivers, screws to remove. Sorry, Phillips screws to remove, regular cross screws. So, and if you have, like, I have this machine tilted over our bathtub, things could fall back in there because it's on a slant, so just be careful with that, because there's a lot of tiny parts in here and you might not be able to retrieve it if you tilt the machine back up. So I'm getting this screw out. So this has 4 screws in there, and they're regular basic screws. Screwdriver, they're not really tight. Basic screwdriver can get that out. So it's regular screws. There are 4 of them, but I already removed 3 just for the sake of this video. And our guard is zip tied to one of the electrical cables for the pump. And this is the pump module here. This is something that also seems to get replaced from what I've seen Googling issues with this machine or washing machines in general. Like if your machine isn't pumping water out, this is something that you'll need to get replaced. And that's about $30. It's not expensive. And it looks like it just plugs in and out like a socket. It's not that hard. So we're looking at the belt. So the system is simple. One wheel spins. One wheel's the motor and it spins the agitator to turn the machine in there. And our spin cycle wasn't spinning, so I'm assuming from what I Googled, it's the belt needs to be replaced. And 5 years and these things tend to, just like engine belts in a car, you're going to want to replace them. You call someone to do this, they're going to charge you about $300. What we've heard in our area, it's about $300 for someone to come in your house and do this job. Granted, our machine is small. I'm not sure if bigger machines are more or this machine would be less, but $300 was the average of what we heard when we called around. As a first instinct, when your washing machine isn't working, you call someone to see get some quotes, and that's what we're quoted. So I have the replacement belt here. I ordered this. It took about 3 days to come in. You get them as cheap as $9, but I paid $13 for this one, only because I knew the seller guaranteed a three-day shipping to my address. So as you see, the belt is going to be very floppy, and the issue with engine belts is like it's usually easy to take off a worn belt that's very loose on the pulley than when it comes time to put on a new belt that's going to be stiff. I'm actually going to put this up there. I'll put this to the side there. So what you could do, what I've seen, you could remove this mechanism here, but this bolt is really tight on there, and and this seems to be connected to the agitator and this pulley in a weird way that if this bolt gets stripped or something happens here, it's going to probably give you a hard time to put back on. So I'm going to avoid taking this bolt off. And you have a screwdriver. What you could do is just pry the belt off. I don't know if you could see me by just sticking that in. If you're strong, you could do this with your hands to remove the belts, or you could use a screwdriver like this is a metal rod. And what you could do is stick it in there like that and turn. But you can also use your hands to do this. It's real easy to do. Comes right off like that. The new belt and the old belt, when you take it off, you notice that there's some shearing, some damage to that belt from where it was contacted the edge of the pulley. That's going to go. The new belt is very firm. And you're going to hang that on there. And what you could do is take a 13mm socket for that bolt. Or you can do this with your hands. So all the socket is gonna do is turn that bolt, and you just thread that belt on the track like that, or you could just turn it with your hands if you want to do it that way. So I'm just gonna do it like that so you guys can see, and it pops right back in. There you go. It's that easy. The new belt is on and you are all set. So you're gonna make sure everything's connected. The new belt should be very stiff, and you see how stiff that is? That's not giving any pull. It's not going up and down. There's no up and down pull. And to squeeze it, it's very, very stiff. And more importantly, there's no like wobbling. So sometimes when you have to spin cycle, machine vibrates like violently. It's because this belt is probably wobbling up and down. Very stiff. Everything looks good. I'm going to look around and see if there's any more clothing in there. Maybe wipe up the black suit. And check to make sure this is on, because this came loose a couple of times, loose while I was getting the belt on there. So you're going to check the nut here to make sure this is on. And that's contacting the pin in the center there. That's how easy it is to change the belts on these things. And that's about $300 saved. It only cost me $13 for the belt with the shipping, but you could get it as cheap as $9. The pump, sometimes you might want to change that after a number of years. That's about $30, and it looks like it just plugs right in like a Lego piece or a socket. Doesn't look that complicated. So this is one of the Haier portable machines, and it's that easy to change the belt. But I'm gonna give you guys a close-up of what I'm just giving you a close-up of what I did here, so you can see how stiff the belt is. Very, very stiff compared to the old belt that was floppy, and you can see where the belt was fraying on the sides there. It's almost like one of those racing tracks that's slanted in, whereas the new belt is just a solid square kind of shape. And this is kind of curved in because it was I'm assuming it's grinding up against this thing. And it's a cooling. It looks like a cooling pulley. There's some fins beneath there, and that's it. Like I said, you can use this nut. That's a 13 millimeter nut. You put your socket on that and turn it, and the belt will pop right back into place. Very, very easy to do, as you saw me do that. Look around, like I said, look around. Make sure you didn't break any of these plastic pieces in here. This hose is very important. You do not want to rupture that, or water will leak onto your floor when it's time to drain the machine out. And that's pretty much it. This is done in under about 10 minutes with me shooting this video. So you can do this yourself if you've done work like this before. Maybe less than 20, less than 30 minutes yourself. In the bathtub, I have this over the tub because water, for some reason, this keeps water in different cavities, will always drain out of this. If you haven't used this in a month, for some reason there was water in there. So, hey guys, so this is a trial run with the new belt in place. I have a low setting on the machine with nothing inside, just the water spinning. It looks like it's spinning well. Everything's working fine. And we'll see when this ends how it finishes up. The goal here is to make sure the water drains out and the thing spins better than it was spinning before. Before it's like a slow spin. Here it seems like it's spinning very fast, which is good, which is what we want. And that is it. It survived the empty cycle. I did a empty wash to check to see if everything was good. It's spinning much stronger. Now we're gonna put a light load in and see how it washes with clothes. Okay, the clothes is done, and I did a light wash, a medium to light wash. Normally you wash the kids' clothes in here, and looks like everything is spun out. Everything is dry. Nothing is wet. So that's pretty good. So the belt replacement worked in this Haier washing machine. Easy to do. You could do it with your hands, replacing the belt. You don't really need tools, but no complaints. It's spinning much better, much more stronger. So what I'm assuming was happening was the agitator was degrading over time, so it wasn't really washing as strong as it is on this test run here. So my wife even noticed. She said in the other room you could hear it, like it wasn't like loud, but it just sounded like a strong, firm spin. So that's it, guys. Saved us $300 and something. The funny thing is we did end up ordering a new machine. So, we'll see what happens. All right, guys. Bye.